The US and the UAE appear to have resolved their open skies dispute, but what exactly have they agreed? That's the subject of today's edition of Inside AB. I'm Jeremy Lawrence and I'm joined here in the studio by Shane Shaquille. Okay, Shay, the open skies dispute seems to have been settled for now. Has it?
Wonderful question. No one's really sure. What we have are two different set of statements coming out of both countries. On the one hand, the US carriers say they're vindicated because there's a freeze, if you will, on flights to the US from the UAE's carriers. But the Gulf carriers are saying that, open skies is left intact, so really nothing's changed.
Okay, what was in that original agreement?
So the original Air Transport Accord of 2002, the US has about 119 of these with very different countries all around the world. It allows for free travel rights over each country's airspace. But it's subject to conditions such as free trade and no government subsidies. Now the US airlines have been saying that the Gulf airlines are subsidized, so they violate the Open Skies Accord. The Gulf airlines are saying absolutely not. We are running like perfectly normal companies. And that has led to the growing dispute that has led to the US carriers lobbying the Trump administration to get everyone on the table and come to some sort of an agreement.
So is this more about both sides wanting to appear that they've won?
It's possible. It's possible that it's the language that's throwing everybody off because nobody wants to concede that they were told what to do. Delta Airlines, but you also have to wonder because Delta Airlines is saying it'll watch the Gulf Airlines like a hawk, but Emirates is saying there's no understanding, not even a tacit one of any kind of freeze. The UAE minister, the UAE ambassador to the US, Yusuf Al Otaiba, is saying there are no limits to any kind of flights over the US from the Gulf Airlines. But Pete Navarro, the White House director of trade, is saying this is a freeze. Call it anything you want to, but it's a freeze. And that the language that the UAE ambassador was using was disconcerting. Sheikh Ahmed is saying, he won't expand into the US right now, but he can, but he won't, but he can.
Right. So if nothing's settled, what actually happens now? I suppose for now, if Emirates doesn't want to go in with any more, it doesn't matter. So what exactly happens right now?
Well, I don't expect this to be the end of it, to be honest. I mean, it's just the end for now that the UAE's carriers won't add to more flights and frequencies into the US. And that's fine. But it's not written down on the document. The document was just called a record of discussion and related side letter, which is really confusing terminology to call a deal. It mentions nothing about a freeze. So if it's not written, then how is it the law? And that's really what the point is that the UAE is trying to make. It's just saying that we won't do it right now, but nothing stops us under the bilateral agreements between both countries from actually doing it. So don't be surprised if this has to go through another round of negotiations all over again, because the US carriers in all this time seem to have won nothing.
And let's just widen this out for a second. If the US, particularly led by the Trump administration, wants to get tough, Emirates has got a lot of leverage in terms of how much money they've committed to spending with Boeing.
Absolutely. Emirates has a $76 billion outstanding commitment to Boeing. So Boeing has to provide Emirates with those aircraft. Over the last 7 or 8 months, since the Dubai Air Show, Dubai has spent $103 billion on Boeing aircraft. And maybe that's what the US carriers are realizing, because the last order that they made for Boeing aircraft earlier this year with American Airlines was only $12.3 billion. So maybe that's why they're pulling out full-page ads in the New York Times and the New York Post, because they want to make it seem as if the Trump administration is protecting US jobs. But really, they're just politicizing the debate. Right now, it's all down to the money, and the UAE is buying, so it has the upper hand.
Okay, well, that seems to settle things for now. You've been watching Inside AB. Please do subscribe and share and join us every weekday at 10 a.m. Thanks.